then take the risk. But if the answer to the question is the risk that I'm taking affects others, then you really need to think twice, because it's not always about you. In fact, it's rarely about you. And that's a hard thing for us to swallow, because then we're also told we need to take care of ourselves. True. We need balance. True. All those things are true. But nobody really owes you anything. And the work that we do is really important work. And it's super intimate work. I mean, I think about the things in the course of my life, even, in the last 5 years of my life, or 10 years of my life, the things that I've personally gone through in my life. And I think, I cannot imagine having to have a third person in this room with me right now. I can't imagine it. I've been through infertility, I've been through, counseling, I've been through, I don't cancel it. I'm just really an out there kind of authentic person. It is what it is. I just believe in authenticity. I don't like the masks and the fakeness and all that ridiculousness. But, I don't want that third person in the room with me. Mm-hmm. And if I had to have a third person in the room with me, if I became deaf tomorrow, you can bet I would be handpicking who I wanted. And think of how infrequently that can happen for a deaf person. It happens occasionally. But to really be able to handpick that person and say, I want you because I trust you. I trust that you're interpreting faithfully the message. I trust that you're keeping your mouth shut. And really, when I really think about it, for me, when I try to put myself in that deaf person's shoes, I think what I really want is that they're not judging me, that they're not making an evaluation of why I'm here, who I am, how this impacts my life. And that's why I say you really have to know yourself, too, because we as interpreters can bring all of that, we can impose all of that upon people, even if we don't say it directly. The way we choose to convey the message, what our face is saying, if it's not syncing up with what our hands are saying, often this is what's conveying the message more than this, or the body language. So we have to be really careful. For example, for me, infertility stuff, obviously, when I was going through that, or the first, after the first few years of coming to terms with it and realizing that this was my life, and that's okay, I would have never interpreted for people going through birthing classes. Even if I thought it was okay, I wouldn't have done it, because I can't help but think that subconsciously somewhere it was going to be super painful. And even if I wasn't interpreting it, I was probably interpreting it in my face. So things like that. Now it's not an issue anymore. I'm fine with it. But if I had a team person that I trusted, I would say to them, if you happen to know this, let me know, because then I need to withdraw from this job, and I need somebody else to come in here and do this. So that's what I mean about know yourself, and give yourself a cushion. Everybody's got something baggage. We can have the best life in the world, but we all have something.
I got a big old trailer. Baggage. Big.
I hear you.
I want you to add to that point that you bring up, and I think it's such a big point, this idea of, if I was deaf, I'd handpick my interpreter.
Oh.
And I can't tell you how many people I've run up against who have such issue with that.
Why?
I don't know.
Put yourself in their shoes.
Put yourself, but we don't have the pool, and we don't have the resources, and this is who we have, and, You don't say that.
It's so rude.
Oh, it's your phone. I'm like, what? I'm like, what? What are you talking about?
Bad interpreter.
Whatever. You know what I mean? It strikes me as, if anybody told you that you couldn't pick your doctor, or you couldn't pick, the person that does your nails, or we'd be out of our minds.
See, I think one of the biggest things you need to do as an interpreter, and if you're not gifted this way, you need to work your butt off at cultivating it, and that's perspective taking.
Yeah.
You have got to be able to take the perspective even of the a-hole doctor and try to figure out what is really his concern. He doesn't want me here. Why might that be? He's intimidated. He's not a confident doctor, and so he's concerned. He's maybe afraid that I'm giving advice. Maybe he's really concerned, and he's afraid that I can't possibly, because I haven't had medical training like he's had, I can't possibly be conveying the message to this person the way he could, and he trusts his writing in English more than he trusts what he can't understand that he sees in me. So how am I going to address that concern? You have to constantly be thinking about that. What's really the concern? I mean, you're seeing anger, you're seeing pissiness, you're seeing lack of respect, you're seeing arrogance, you're seeing all that. Kind of look past it and try to figure out that's really just the cloak of something that's really going on there. And try to really get at what might the concern be and address the concern, not the person. But perspective taking is huge. Try to imagine yourself in your life right now and think about some of the intimate things in your life that have happened. Going to have an OBGYN exam, and a multitude of other things. I don't want just anybody in there with me, especially, sometimes you have people who have standing in the community, and they're a regular guy just like everybody else, and maybe they have some sort of sexually transmitted disease, or they have issues that you would never expect that they have, because we all somehow have in our heads what people's lives are really like. And if they're a deaf professional, then all these things must be true of them, and these things can't be true of them. Or if they're an indigent person who's deaf, then all these things must be true of them, and these things can't be true of them. And to be really, really careful about what roles and what characteristics you're assigning people based on the status that they hold in the community. It's kind of off point, but, just all that, I do a lot of that, that's why I apologize to you for it. But all that perspective taking is really important, and I just can't imagine, I want to pick if I could come to college and my teachers should. I don't know.
Students kind of do now. They jump ship.
Do they?
Yeah, they jump ship more
Oh,
quickly.
wow.
I know, I think you should go, fine.
Yeah, definitely.
There's like this website where you can rate your teachers so then people can know.
Isn't that wicked?
My God.
I won't look at it.
Well, yeah, after the semester you go and
Yeah.
or before you take a class.
They should have that for deaf people and interpreters.
Yeah.
I will propose it, because that'll be the end of my career,
I was
so.
actually even going to say to you, I've got a whole lecture here.
Do you want me to wait? I mean,
No, I don't want you to wait. I
Okay.
want you to talk to me.
I got a couple questions actually. One is
Go
kind of
for it.
a little long. Okay, I got into a situation just actually recently. I had to interpret, and I knew what it was. It was at a person's home for an intake appointment, and the county worker was there. Well, little did I know that somebody else was going to be there. I didn't know a caseworker was going to be there. I'd never seen this person before. But anyway, I just went ahead, I interpreted, and then in my gut was telling me, I think a deaf interpreter should be here. And I've never worked with a deaf interpreter before, but just now being in school and getting all that, and I'm like, you know what? Some situations, there really probably should be one. And my gut was telling me, because really just, I don't want to say, this for the deaf consumer, but just I was almost I knew what they were saying, but then I thought, okay, Amy, try to turn it around, try to think, try to kind of expand a little bit and ask, well, do you mean this or this, and then, okay, then it was kind of getting clear. But then the case manager was sitting there watching the whole time and knows the background of this person. Well, come to find out, this person is also an interpreter. I got a business card after. It said case manager / interpreter, and I thought, wow, dual role? I mean, I don't know how that works. I guess at first I was kind of taken aback because I interpreted something and I misinterpreted it, and she caught it because that's not what she was saying. And then this person has other mental issues, and she knew it, but I had no background knowledge. So background knowledge for me would have been really helpful, but I didn't know anything. You go in at these jobs and you don't get much of anything. And so I'm thinking,
There's so much to talk about. I wish I had paper now instead
So-
of... Hold on.
Do you want some?
Yeah, I need a piece of paper, because you've already stated 4 things I want to talk about.
okay.
Jeez, I'm sorry.
Thank you. Can I borrow a pen?
You may.
I just need one. Hold on, before you say any more.
All
Hold
right.
on.